a World War II veteran, and he is being interviewed at Orchard Park High School by
Laura School.
Samantha McKellen.
Katie Pokerwinski.
Steven Sapinski.
Tom Basinski.
Okay.
I met you before.
Make sure.
Oh,
Make sure you speak up, and the students want to know all about World War II.
oh, I don't know if I
Okay.
could.
I'll be in with about a couple minutes left. Do not leave because I've got to take your picture with Mr. Davidovich. And also if you want pictures of anything else because he's got some interesting things. Okay. All right, I'll leave you guys alone.
All right.
Okay.
My first question is, were you drafted into World War II or did you enlist?
Drafted.
You were
Drafted. You want the dates and all that?
Yes, please.
Okay, I was drafted June 12th, 1942. You know, some of these things get so many years ago that I forget exactly the dates. Yeah, June 12th, 1942. That's what the date was. And I got drafted from the Lackawanna Board. It was one of the biggest contingents coming out of Lackawanna. And I got a picture of, came from the Lackawanna leader. You want to take a look at that?
Yes, please.
And I don't know, this was actually all of them, but it was presented to me after the war. And the reason it was taken then, I understand that it was one of the biggest local boards that drafted us from Lackawanna, and from there we went to Fort Niagara. That was June 12th, 1942.
How old were you when you got drafted?
18.
Were you familiar with other people that got drafted as
Beg
well?
your pardon?
Were you familiar with the other people that got drafted with you at the Lackawanna post?
Not really, no. No, I didn't, no, there's where you get most of your friendship. When you got drafted, you met all these people and made around the boys, yeah.
Once you got drafted, what kind of training did you receive?
We went to basic training. We went to Fort Niagara first, where we got just basic instructions, and from there we went to Fort Monmouth, and that was School of Communications. Fortunately, I stuck to communications throughout my entire career when I was in the service. But we went to different places. Then we went to Fort Monmouth, and from Fort Monmouth we went to Camp Crowder, Missouri. By train. Remember the trains you used to run?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't got them no more. Well, they got a few. Yeah, they got some of these few.
What camp was it?
Camp Crowder, Missouri, we went into for more training, again in communications. From there we went on to, from Camp Crowder we went into West Virginia for maneuvers. To this day, we built a telephone and telegraph line from Elkins, West Virginia, through the mountains on Route 250, I believe. If you've passed, that thing is still in service. The telegraph and we built. It's still in service. And it's stretched maybe about 70, 80 miles. And that was our training. But when we got into the war, all that pole climbing didn't do any good to us, because we laid, when we got into combat, we laid field wire and started off with the Battle of the Bulge and Battle of Bastogne, Kirtland Forest. And if you recall, the 82nd Airborne commander, and the German says surrender, and he says nuts. You know, remember that command? Yeah. And I was in that battle. The biggest battle, I was in one of our biggest battles, Remagen Bridge head. Remagen, it was on this side of Belgium. The other side was Germany. You could imagine the Rhine River there, and the Germans bombed the bridge. And what the engineers did then, they came in and they built pontoon bridges that the troops could go across the Rhine at that time. At the other side of the Rhine was a big buffer up there. My God, we're like sitting ducks, you know. Unless you're crying, there's the Germans are sure they're in the big foxholes dug in, and we're trying to cross the river. And then finally we succeeded in building the engineers come in and built the pontoon bridge. And we finally succeeded to get our troops across and all that there. And if you recall, they forgot to blow up the railroad bridge. And I was at the 9th Armored Division at that time for communications only. And most of our troops went across the railroad bridge too then.
All right.
And that's how we got to the Germans from there on. And then once we got them on a run, we kept them on a run. And we really were successful there. But when I saw them foxholes, when we got to the other side and I saw them foxholes, I wondered how they didn't get all of us, you know. And that was one of my scariest moments I ever had in service. After they built the pontoon bridges, the English people, they built them protections for the bombers won't come in to dive into blow up the pontoon bridges. And maybe I shouldn't tell you this story, but we were really on a run. We were tired, and we got across, and we got into a wine cellar. And you know, once you get into the wine cellar, you never tasted that stuff for for quite some time. So we got inebriated there pretty good. So, hey, that gives you more courage to do it. Let me tell you, there was one soldier that said he was brave enough to go, and I was shaken. And we're all shaken, and it was a tough assignment, believe me. And once we got him on a run, we were pretty good. In fact, we got him on a run so much that the poor Germans were with their hands up. I had another experience. I had a young officer. He was a second lieutenant rather. Just got about an OCS school, probably. We call them 90-day wonders. He was you got to respect him. He was a second lieutenant. And like I say, these Germans were coming out of the woods and they're hungry, starved, and they got their hands up. And Lieutenant Crasher, I remember his name, he says, shoot him. Well, shoot him, what for? The poor guy's got his hands up, he's hungry and all that. And if you capture him, you got to bring him to the stockade, which is 80 miles down the road. You're better off than not to ignore him. If you got any cave rations, give it to him. You know, which I did. You shouldn't do that. I said, why? Well, I feel sorry for the guy. You know, let him go. So, you're going to be up to court-martial? Well, you court-martial me. Nothing came out of it, you know. I was a sergeant too, but I respected his second lieutenant, but you know, you get in them kind of situations once in a while that he was the only guy that Now, would you shoot a man if you were using distress and all that? Hungry and had got his hands up? And, of course he's our enemy, but still a young man he was. I says, no, just let him go, let him find his own way. And that's what I did. Nothing came of it anyhow. So, is that still part of that one question? Or you want me to carry on with the? All right. The worst part, the devastation I saw really was in Nuremberg, Germany. Oh, that thing was demolished. Oh, we got through it. In Nuremberg, I don't know, even the civilization, the civilians couldn't withstand it there. It was really destroyed. And it was so destroyed that even like we were traveling sometime in Jeeps, 2.5-ton trucks, we just narrow pathways to go through, you know. Everything was gone. But we had them on the run pretty good. There's a little place right out of Nuremberg, Germany called Fürth. F-U-R-T-H, I believe it was. And we broke into a music store there. Or they did. I came later. And they were taking all kind of instruments there and all that. And the war just about dying down a little and simmering down. It wasn't really, truce wasn't really proclaimed yet. And we were mostly settled in. We were living in an old schoolhouse there upstairs. We had headquarters there. And the war was, like I say, simmering down, all that. And finally, we settled down there, and we formed a little band there, you know. I can recall Jimmy Hayes, well, we didn't get a piano, but that particular school, they had a piano there. He played on a piano. Michael Starkwitz, he just passed away. He lived in Florida, but previously he come from Chicago, Illinois. He played a trumpet. Joe DeMuzio, he's passed on. He played the accordion. And we formed a band. Lieutenant Anderson, we call him Andy's Dandies. And I happened to walk in upstairs there one time. They were practicing. And there was a bass fiddle there, you know, nobody playing. And I grabbed it and boom, 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 boom. You play, Lieutenant Anderson? Nah, I said, keep time, you hear it? You want to play? Yeah. So I played. And it came to that we got pretty good. Remember Dave Garraway?
No.
No, this is the way. Well, anyhow, our theme song was Sentimental Journey. And Dave Garrett, that was his theme song. He was on the Good Morning America program every morning. And what happened here was that the war was just about over. In fact, maybe it was over. I don't recall. We used to go, we got so pretty good that we played at different places, you know. And job is yours. We finally got stationed right out of Cellar, Versailles. We moved up Versailles, where the first World War Treaty was signed. Oh, what beautiful gardens there they got in that palace of Versailles. Oh, I didn't see nothing so beautiful, and all the flower arrangements and all that there. And we got stationed there pretty good. Our captain's name was Captain Lingenfelter out of Pennsylvania. And you might say I was one of his pets. Well, and a pet in the way that I used to get all the sports organized. Horseshoes, baseball, whatever kind of activities going on. I used to go into Paris every once a week, supplies, baseball, softball, horseshoes and all that jazz, you know. And we get on to Paris and get to the headquarters where all the supplies were. I know this Frenchman. In French, he said, "Combien?" That means how much for the Jeep. I said, "The Jeep's not for sale." And, you know, and I was afraid he's going to jump the wires, and when I'm in there getting supplies, he's going to run off with it. Well, I saw an NP. I said, "Listen, watch that Jeep, so this here guy, he's want to steal it and run away with it." So he said, "I'll take care of it." And I got baseballs and all that, and nothing happened. But he wanted, you know, you can make all kind of money from black market there and all that there. But the policy was then that you couldn't send no more money home than what your base pay was. And I was only a sergeant. One time, I better not tell you this story because you guys are all writing this down, right? No, I better not tell you this story. There's a lot of, what I'm referring to, there's a lot of black market going on. The only black market that I did, I give my K rations. My K rations were your livelihood sometime. You need sometime a hot meal in, I don't know, weeks at a time. Because you see your commander. In fact, I never got paid. What do you need the money for? You know, I never got paid 6, 7 months at a time. We're on a run all the time. Now, like I was saying, I brought this book along so I could remember the order we were going. I was in all these battles: Battle of Bulge, Battle of Bastogne, Battle of Remagen Bridge head, when we just about got captured with 82nd Airborne Division, and the guy says nuts. The German commander says surrender, and the guy says nuts. The command, and no, we didn't surrender there. I was in that battle, and now you ask me some questions. That was a long question, but
Did you talk to your family a lot?
No. You mean when I was overseas? Not once. Not once. In fact, I could tell you a story about that too. Let me tell you. Might as well start there. We're getting alerted to go overseas. This is back in 1942 yet. And like I said, I met my wife on maneuvers in West Virginia. We finally got transferred up to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and she came into Baltimore, Maryland, to work. Fine. My wife says, "We're getting married before." I said, "I'd like to get married to you before I go overseas, because I liked her so much and all that there, and I didn't want to lose her until I come back after the war." And this was in September, yeah. And as captain, this weekend I'm going to Baltimore, Maryland. I believe I'm going to get married. You are? Well, Davidovich, he says, we're alerted to go overseas. I said, yes. And if we pass inspection, sure, you could go. So again, we passed inspection, and that weekend I went to Baltimore, and nothing happened. I had the wrong date. It was the following week. Oh, good heavens to Betsy. I come back to camp. I reveille's at 6 o'clock in the morning. I trudge in there about 9 o'clock. I go in the orderly room, and Captain Lingenfeldt, a German fellow, he got a pipe in his mouth. He says, "Well," I walk in there. It's about 8:45, something like 9 o'clock. Well, he says, "Congratulations, Davidovich." I said, "No, Captain." I says, "I made a mistake." I says, it's next weekend." I go, "Oh, next week we'll probably be in the high seas. We're probably going overseas." I said, "Well, I'm sorry." go change clothes, get your fatigues on, get on the details. So that's what he told me. So anyhow, next week comes by, and next short story is not long enough, so I got an excuse to go the following week again to get married. So I got married. You know, before the minister there, he says, Davidovich and Jones, huh? Jones! You're a Jones and you're a Davidovich. Boy, Jones, you're taking a beating, the name. You know? I says, well, she may be taking a beating, but how many Jones you know? You know what color they are and all that jazz? I said, but my name's got a meaning to it. Yeah? Well, you tell me why. Davidovich? I said, Davidovich means son of David. O-V-I-C means son of David, see? Just like Swenson and Johnson, all them Swedish names, that means son of John and son of, you know, that's how the names originated somehow in Europe, see? My folks come from Europe. Both come from Europe, yeah. Yugoslavian, that's what it is. That's the name, Yugoslavian. And fortunately, when I was going overseas, I went with we took I don't know how long it took, but it was one of them slow boats. Maybe it took 7-8 days to cross the Atlantic. In the meantime, I was going over. I got streptococcus of the throat, and I had to get off the boat in Birmingham, England, for the hospital there. Oh my God, that was the worst experience I had in my life. My outfits carried on. They went across the English Channel to France and all that there. And they went through these, during World War I, they used to have these tunnels, the rebel depots. And after I get cleared from the hospital to go back to my outfit, you don't actually go back to your outfit. You go back to where they need the troops. Sometimes they need an infantry. I never had a bit of training in infantry and all that. But if, hey, you're a body, you go there. And like I say, you're going through these different rebel depots, you know. Get to this front, and sooner you get to the front, and you. So it happened so that it was in the morning or something, we're parading in this big parade grounds, and all these barracks are surrounding, you know. And you're waiting for your call. When they call your name, it's a big loudspeaker. You can hear them. You report to headquarters there. And it always happened to be there on a Saturday or Sunday or what it was. I see my old friend there, Mr. Sturkowitz, the guy who played the trumpet in the band later on. This Sturkowitz, where's the outfit at? Oh, we're down the road here a piece. Tell the captain there and get me out of this hell-forsaken place. And fortunately, I went back to my unit again. Otherwise, I probably could have went into the infantry, who knows. So I went right back to my old outfit, and I was happy to go back there. And another experience I had, we were with the 3rd Army, Mr. George Patton. I met him, too. I met him through these, the way I met him here is the way I'll tell you how I met him. We're laying this here spiral for cable, which is coming quarter lengths, you know. And you just connectors, and you put them on, and wherever they want communications from artillery to the front, we laid it, you know. And we had to put these cables up on a tree somehow that the artillery tanks and all that there wouldn't run over, see. So this time, Mr. George Patton comes around. Sergeant, he said, what are you putting them things up in the trees for? I said, well, your artillery comes around, General, and I says, so they won't run them over, and you want communications? Oh, I see. Carry on. Oh, what a big, stout guy he was. If you see that picture of Patton in the service, that guy that played him, boy, that's how he was. And later on, in fact, there's a road there in Germany. It goes from Frankfurt all the way to Berlin. I understand it's heated all the way through. And that's how Mr. George Patton, he likes to drive the high-powered cars, you know. And that's how he got killed over there, driving this car. I believe it was in the winter time too, but the roads were clean as a whistle there, you know. That's another incident. So, shall I tell you an incident when we formed the band? Oh, the band was formed. Then we had a play in Paris. That's the only good part about France is Paris. Paris, Main Street there, Champs-Élysées is, Mike, you ever been to the thing I can compare Paris, France to is the Main Street is, you ever been to Detroit, Michigan, Woodward Avenue? Well, that's a pretty wide street. It takes you 10 minutes to cross it. Well, not that, but it's a very wide street anyhow. And Champs-Élysées, oh, it's beautiful. The big Arch of Triomphe up there and all that there. And it's, like I say, we were stationed in Versailles, which is about 40 kilometers or 50 kilometers away from Paris there. And I used to go there quite often. We formed this band. And we got pretty good. We played for the officers at the Lido Club on the Champs-Élysées. Could you imagine that? And the only reason we played for the American whiskey that they served us. You know, the officers got all that good stuff, and we got nothing. We got that 3 2-point beer. Now, what else could I tell you? Is time up?
I
Yeah.
don't think so yet. What medals did you receive, or did you?
Well,
receive?
yeah. Okay. At the Remagen Bridgehead, when the engineers secured that it was safe enough to go across with the heavy equipment, 2.5-ton trucks and all that, then the English people put these balloons so the Jerry's won't come and dive down to destroy the pontoon bridge again. And we fought the battle there. And there's a notation in here that you could all read it, I guess. I haven't seen this in years. And, you could all, you could start reading that part, and you could pass the ribbon down. And well, then I got my discharge says what I got. I got a good conduct medal, and I got several other medals there, and when I got discharged, I don't know what happened to my barracks bag. I come home in West Virginia. My wife was in West Virginia when I got discharged. I come out and I only came home with the clothes I had on. What happened to the rest of my clothes, I don't know. I can't recall. And who cares? That's just one. In fact, while I was overseas, my daughter was born. She was born June 12th, 1945, yeah. And I come home Thanksgiving Day. I come home Thanksgiving Day in 1945. Discharged. Yeah. So, kind of dull, isn't it? My interview.
No.
No? No?
No.
Well, anyhow, I was glad. Oh, like I said, there was a lot of black markets going on in them days. And they finally passed, which is a good thing. They passed. You can send more money home, your base pay. I know some of my friends there after the war were stationed in Versailles. And they want to make a deal. don't put this down. Just hearsay now. You know, I don't want. Where's this go from here?
And do a presentation.
Presentation.
Yeah.
So this is like off the record then.
Off the record, yeah. This is off the record.
All right.
And he says, "Hey, you know, you get the, the sergeant of the motor pool and all that. There, I'd like to have a 2.5-ton truck. What for? Well, we're gonna take some gasoline up. There are 5-gallon cans. We're gonna load that 2.5-ton truck with this gasoline. We're gonna ship it up to Cherbourg. We got a customer up there." "You are? You guys are crazy. You in the deal?" I said, "No, sir. No, I'm not. No way. I got a girl at home. I got a wife at home. I don't want to get court-martialed and caught for that stuff." And that's how some of these guys acted, you know. No responsibility whatsoever. Not me. I don't want to go in that deal. And they went ahead and got it. They did it. They got away with it. Oh, this is only small. This is compared to how many other GIs did, you know, something undercover that way. Oh. So, there were times were good, the times were hard. Experience it was, yes. But I'd never got to go through it again. But I'll tell you one thing: the Germans were nice people. They got nice homes. You could put this down. They were in beautiful homes compared to what I saw in France. Well, although we didn't see much of France, except the only good part about France is, like I say, Versailles was beautiful, and Paris was nice. And certain parts of Paris was nice. Sometimes you go outside of Paris there, you can see the manure piles right under main drag. You know, cow and all that. Okay, ask me something else.
Do you ever keep any diaries while you're over there?
No, I didn't have time for diaries. No diaries. No. No diaries. No. I did enough. Huh?
Have you stayed in touch with anyone that you met there?
Beg your pardon?
Have you stayed in touch with any any friends you met there?
No. You mean French people and all that?
No, well, like other soldiers that you met there.
Oh, well, like I say, we have these reunions every year. Our outfit our outfit was called the 94th Signal Battalion, but we supplied communications. I was with the 9th Armored Division, 82nd Airborne Division. I was with the 32nd Division. Wherever they needed communications, you get your team of 7, 8, 10 men. You supply the communications from wherever they wanted, field, right down to the regiment, right down to front lines. And like I say, I never seen by the captain of the 94th till after the war. You get paid. What good is the pay? Where are you going to spend it? You don't need no money. So, this one incident at the Remagen Bridge, like I said, they built them pontoon things overhead so the Jerry's won't come in and shoot them. We got our carbines out, and I got my pistol out, and we start shooting at them. Well, we got so inebriated, we went to the wine cellar, and the captain come out there. No. Don't shoot. I got some American whiskey. Oh, we stopped shooting then. But you know what? I'll tell you, if you didn't get half inebriated, and you wouldn't have the guts to go and do your work sometime. But you know what you're doing too. See? But I didn't say we're all drunks now. Come on, we were good soldiers. But that give you more initiative to go ahead and do stuff. You know, give you more courage. I mean, don't get too. You know what you're doing, but that sort of pepped you up. You know what I mean? Give you a little more encouragement and all that there. But I had a good like this year flag. These people were all good. and everyone liked to drink and all that. You know, you like to drink a little beer sometime, right? I don't know, or whatever. And I had a good squad, very good squad. You're very loyal. What I says, they win the day. I know one guy, Roger Clemens. Where's his name?
Right there.
He was my truck driver. Where's he from? West Virginia. Where's Samuels? Joe Samuels. He was on a machine. What we had on a 2.5-ton truck, we had all this supplies of communications, cable, and all that there. Then we had on the top, we had a third of a machine gun too. You know, you all carried carbines, and I carried a carbine and a pistol too. See, and in case of enemy attack and all that there. You know, and we overran the Germans so fast that we slept in beautiful homes there. And wherever you get protection, or that's where your headquarters were. Till we get called from 9th Airborne Division or the 82nd Airborne Communication Group, you go there. Like I said, we never saw our commanding officer for months at a time. And that's how we went along. K rations, hot meal? Huh. I don't know when we had a hot meal sometime. Very few hot meals. Yeah. Like I say, I was out of the service. I joined the boat organization, American Legion, the VFW. I was commander of the Orchard Park American Legion. About 15 years ago. At present, I'm commander of the VFW, Orchard Park, and I could have had another term, but I told the boys, I says, I'm 87 years old and going on 88. I says, they finally got somebody else, and in fact, we had our meeting last night. Not that I'm going to stop attending. I'm going to attend as long as I'm able to. But it takes time to run even a meeting now. And at my age, my time right now is play golf at least once a week. And when I come back out of the service, went back to my job, Patton Steel. I was a supervisor there, anyhow. And back in 1977, we won the championship. You know Jake Benning from Orchard Park? Benning, the name? He used to work for Bauer Service Station. Him and I won the championship at Baltimore Steel Golf Course in 1977. So it's still there. They have a memorabilia of the past days of Baltimore Steel. They have a little place there. Although bought the golf course now. I don't belong to it now. It costs too expensive for me to run. Just like Orchard Park Country Club, it's very exclusive, which is a nice place too. But at that time, and in fact, right now too, I think Bethlehem Management is a beautiful course, nice. And we zigged and zagged, and Jake Benning and I won the championship in 1977.
Oh, could include that about his golf experience.
Oh, yeah.
The bell has rung, so the students
Oh, there you are. She didn't even get through the half. I thought, come back.
It would be nice to pick, well, for